Hello everyone, so in this video I want to give my review and reflection about theory of culture, psychoanalytic approach to culture and the self. The relationship between culture theory and psychoanalytic theory is a complex one. There are clear affinities in as far as both do see social life essentially about meanings and emphasize the need for interpretation. This work has now reached a stage where it sometimes seems impossible to delineate certain psychoanalytic theories from culture theory more broadly conceived. Therefore, some material we can discuss: Sigmund Freud, post-Freudian theories of self and society, the Frankfurt School, Jacques Lacan, post-Lacanian psychoanalytic culture theory, postmodern psychoanalytic culture theory, and last, some concluding comments. Before we can discuss these more recent theories, we need first to review the work of the founder of psychoanalysis, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud. Freud challenged the assumption that the self was merely what can be seen on the surface. He argued that identity, personality, and mental function were far more complex than anyone had previously imagined. These were in constant interaction, existing alongside. These two levels was a split in the psyche between the id, the ego, and the superego. This term referred to aspects of the self rather than to concrete part of the brain anatomy. The id is the realm of diverse, primitive instinct that wish for immediate gratification. The ego maintains a stable sense of self and is adaptive to reality. Post-Freudian theories of self and society. Psychoanalytic theory has not stood still since Freud's death. In many ways, civilization and its discontent sets the scene for this shift, which is in interest macro-sociological issue and the links between pathology and modernity. General characteristics of more recent psychoanalytic theory include: 1. A decreased emphasis of individual psychological pathologies as the cause of neurosis and a compensating interest in relation between people or between people and objects. 2. A focus on the way that society and its cultural organization are implicated in the problems experienced by self. 3. An understanding of modern people as emotionally damaged, isolated, and suffering from impoverished identity. The Frankfurt School. We last encountered the Frankfurt School in Chapter 3, where we drew attention to their analysis of the culture industry and consumerism and the critical of instrumentalism and modernity. Like Freud, Eric Fromm argues that modern society restricts human freedom, but is more specific in fencing by blame squarely at the foot of capitalism. He argued that the economic ordering of society led to the creation of particular kinds of subjects. In an ideal world, we would be able to relate to each other in a healthy way by thinking reflexively and rationally about ourselves and our society. Jacques Lacan. For those influences by structuralism, post-structuralism, and discourse analysis, Jacques Lacan's writings from the 1915 and 1960 are the key to theorizing the association of culture and psychoanalysis. One of the reasons for this is that his broadly post-structural approach shifts responsibility for the construction of the self away from biological drive toward language and culture. Post-Lacanian psychoanalytic culture theory. By definitely combining psychoanalytic theories of the self with structuralist understanding of culture, Lacan's work has exerted a distinctive impact on culture theory, especially in the areas of psychoanalytic feminism and literary and film criticism. Along with this come the illusion of freedom and misrecognition of the true, objective nature of self and society. People are unaware of their membership in a class, the structuring power of capitalism, and so on. Postmodern psychoanalytic culture theory. As we move from post-structural towards postmodern psychoanalytic theory, more and more attention is given to much issue of desire and pleasure alongside a text on the concept of the unitary subject as the repository of desire. This desire no longer resides in individual subjectives, but rather circulate in random and incoherent ways throughout human bodies and psyche that operate as desiring and machine. Some concluding comments. For contemporary culture theories, psychoanalytic theory has clearly offered the most elaborate and attractive discourse on the self. It is an area marked by continuing theoretical innovation that has attracted a number of formidable thinkers to its ranks. It should be noted, however, that reservations are often expressed about this approach. These include the following points. First, many of central claims of psychoanalysis remain untested. Second, it is a field marked by internal division with innumerable factions and cliques. Third, like other major fields, psychoanalytic theory has constructed its own language. Here we are at the end of this video. The lesson learned we can get from the material is psychoanalytic theories postulate a multitude of different change mechanisms and a host of new ways of conceptualizing the change process continue to emerge as psychoanalysis theory themselves evolve and prove life. Last word, thank you.